Okay, moving on. We've got a women's strawweight bout between number 7 ranked Carla Esparza and number 8 ranked Michelle Waterson. And this, to be honest, out of all the fights on the prelims that we're going over right here, I feel like I have the most confidence in who's going to win this one. And watch, I'll say that. My guess will be completely fucking off. But when you watch Carla Esparza fight, her style is primarily boxing and wrestling. And the problem is that she's a really good wrestler. Carla Esparza, by the way, very important for the women's strawweight division, right? Like she's a staple of the sport. Like, she's very good. But when she went up against Tatiana Suarez, you got to see the difference between like her grappling and elite, like really high level grappling, right? Tatiana Suarez is probably the most impressive grappler in women's MMA that we've ever seen. Most accomplished probably too, right? So you got to see that like there's a difference there. And, Carla Esparza's fought everyone, man. And it's like you kind of know what her style's like. And she's got Michelle Waterson's going to be a little bit longer than her. And I really like the fact that Michelle Waterson has the option to go into her toolbox and pull out the kicks. Whereas Carla's not going to have as much versatility with her kicks. Not that she can't throw leg kicks, but her kicks are never going to be as refined or as smooth as Michelle's. And I think that like a lot of the success that Carla Esparza finds is because she's putting pressure on people, engaging in boxing exchanges, and then like getting people off the break and hitting people off the break and doing things that veterans do, right? But Michelle Waterson's a veteran as well. She's got a record of 17-7. Carla Esparza's 15-6. These girls have over like 40 fights combined. So both are veterans, but I really think the big difference here will be the kicks, and this is why. I think that if Michelle Waterson can start working the kicks, it's going to keep Carla Esparza at range. And I think early on in the fight, like the first round, you're going to see that kind of like, it's not going to frustrate Carla too bad. But as the fight wears on, it's going to she's not going to be able to get into the range that she wants, and then she's going to start hunting for takedowns. And when you start getting backed into a hole, right, where like the takedown becomes the clear, obvious option, that like that's going to be your path to victory. When that becomes like your only way to win, the opponent knows it. And I think that Carla will eventually start not setting up shots. She's going to start shooting without setting them up. And I think that that's going to play into the hands of Michelle Waterson because like with the kicks, Michelle's going to be keeping her at bay. And Carla, if she can't set things up with the hands, her only other option is to cut the octagon off and try to force the fight up against the cage, or she's going to have to get a takedown. And if she can't set the takedown up with her hands and she's not able to back Michelle up against the cage, which I think is going to be the case, I think Michelle's footwork is going to keep her circling around the octagon. That's going to cause Carla to take ill-advised shots. They're not going to be set up and she's going to be far away. And I think that's really going to play into the judo skill set of Michelle Waterson. Her nickname's the Karate Hottie, but don't forget that she has like 9 submissions in her career out of 17 wins. So most of her wins come via submission. She has really good jiu-jitsu. And I'm not positive that she's going to be able to take Carla out. Like, I don't know if she's actually going to be able to tap her, but I do think that like I said, she's going to be kept at bay, and then Carla's going to get she's going to get, I don't know what the word is, right? Over anxious, over eager, over excited, and go for takedowns that aren't there. And it'll really play into the judo of Michelle Waterson because she'll be able to use that momentum to set up her takedowns. And you see her hit that stuff all the time, hip tosses and stuff. So Carla has to be very careful. Now, all that being said, it's not like Carla Esparza can't win this fight. I think that if she does want to win, she has to turn it into a dog fight, push it up against the fence, and like, honestly, I wouldn't get into too many grappling exchanges with Michelle because of her judo and because of her takedowns and because of her timing and her balance on things. If I'm Carla, I'm back. I'm trying to cut Michelle off. I'm trying to keep her back against the cage. And I'm trying to keep this in boxing range. And I'm not afraid to mix in takedowns, but I'm not just going to hunt for it to put it there. You know what I mean? So for Michelle Waterson, much more of a karate fight when she's standing and then relying on her judo game and stuff, and just frustrating Carla, I think, is the game plan for her. And Carla's game plan is going to be more like you gotta turn it into a brawl, turn it into a dogfight, and kind of break through that in order to get into the range that you need to for Michelle. Don't let her set up kicks and stuff early and establish it, because once she establishes it, now you have to work out of a hole. So I would kind of expect Carla to be aggressive early on in this fight.